Now, you've seen her once or twice in my videos. This is our little moo dog chewing on her tootsie, and she shouldn't be chewing on a tootsie peg because, like a lot of staffies, she does get itchy. Tootsies, don't you? Stop itching your tootsies and say hello to everyone. No, you're going to itch your tootsies. Stop itching your tootsies. Anywho, so Moo is a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, often known as a staffie, and she is one of the many bully breeds. And I wanted to do a few of these videos because in Britain, at least, there is another breed of dog that's been put on the banned dogs list without any proper research or understanding, because as per usual, people get obsessed with a particular breed. They get them thinking they're going to get one thing, and they don't. Now, staffies were one of those breeds a few years ago that every mug and their mother would get a staffie, because staffies have this ingrained yes you do, don't you? Yes you do. They are the sweetest dogs you'll ever meet, and they are so loyal to family and extremely good with children. In fact, when they were initially bred, they were bred as dogs to guard children, which is why, excuse me, just dropping something on the floor, which is why they were nicknamed nanny dogs. Okay? No dog should ever, not even the tiniest dog, left unsupervised with children. It is stupid to do that, and if you're not paying attention, the kid gets bitten, that's your fault, not the dog's. Now, something to note about staffies. They are terriers, Staffordshire Bull Terriers. So they do have an extremely high prey drive. So Moo is an absolute devil if she sees anything small that she doesn't know, and she will try and kill it. She hasn't killed anything under our supervision, thankfully. Now, she is a second or third hand dog. We're a third family. But Moo is one of those lucky dogs that has always been loved, and it was only through a change of circumstances and putting her welfare first, which you must always do, that we ended up with her, didn't we, darling? And we got her at 7 years old, so we did miss out on the puppyhood. And staffies as puppies are like whirlwinds made of bricks, okay? They are, she still does it sometimes. She'll have that, I'm going to kiss you, I'm going to love you, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it with so much exuberance you can't even possibly understand or contain the exuberance that I have. So that's why a lot of them get rehomed, because they do have this lust for life, shall we say. You know, they're nuts, absolutely nuts, but they are such sweet dogs. Bully breeds to me are not beginners dogs. Even from the smallest bully breed, which would be the pug or the Frenchie, they're all molossoid dogs. They have that split skull, so all of them lock their jaws. That's the type of bite that they have. They don't have a wolf-like bite like any other breeds, which range from Chihuahuas, which is, we've got one over there that's fast asleep, all the way up to sort of Alsatians, etc. Any dog with this sort of line down the middle of their skull is called a bully breed, and she's off to moo around now. And so that is their bite, and they have extremely strong bite pressure. They grab and they shake. They don't jump in and tear. They grab, they shake, and they hold. So bully breeds are known to stand their ground, okay? They are also very stubborn, very strong-willed. In fact, I'll talk to you about our Betty the Bulldog at some point. They are the most stubborn dog I've ever had. So you must have some experience, or at least have done your research before getting any bully breed, and especially rehoming. I would always suggest, sorry, she's trashing the place, and I always do. I would always suggest that you start with a puppy so you can understand where they... the dog itself, because even within the breed, every dog is different. So if you really want a bully, do your research and then get it from a puppy rather than rehoming. You know, once you've got experience, I can't emphasize enough that it's better to miss out the puppyhood. It really is better to miss out on puppyhood. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's our little moo dog, you know, and anything you want to ask, because it's another thing I've got a lot of experience in, is with dogs. I was raised with them, all kinds of breeds, you know, but my personal experience predominantly is bully breeds, mostly because of my husband, because he loves Rottweilers, and they are absolutely my favourite breed of dog. First dog I got for myself as an individual rather than family dog was a little Heinz 57, but she did have Rotty in her, because she had that colouring and the split skull. So yeah, I kind of got thrown in the deep end with that, and then I foolishly did not do enough research and got a Springer Spaniel, And as my health declined, I couldn't give her what she needed, because springers, they need a lot of walking and a lot of stimulus, you know. So we had to rehome her. And it's okay to do that, okay? Don't feel like because you've had it for so long that you have to keep it. Circumstances change and you have to put the dog first. I've had to rehome several dogs in my life, you know. Every dog that I've had into old age has had to be put to sleep to make that decision. I've never had a dog just die in its sleep, and it's horrible, but that is what part of responsible dog ownership is. So my advice to you, staffies are wonderful, bully breeds are wonderful, even XL bullies, I've met them, they're wonderful dogs. Even though most of them have got a little bit of pit bull in them, and that kind of crosses, sort of flirts a line for me, because pit bulls were specifically bred to fight. That's something I should mention. They are, all dogs have aggression in them, all of them, just as we do. Every animal on earth has to be aggressive at some point. Bully breeds are exceptionally aggressive when it comes to defending their people. Staffies especially, they will stand their ground. Like I've seen her try and take on a dog 3 times the size of her, you know what I mean, because she's perceived some sort of threat, you know. So be mindful of that, you know what I mean, and make sure you do not have a dog that you cannot hold back, you know. That's why I personally wouldn't be able to, on my own, have a breed like a staffie, because I'm not strong enough, but my husband is, you know. I'm also a huge advocate of leash walking. It doesn't matter how well trained your dog is, it must be walked on a leash around other dogs, because you don't know the history of other dogs. And when I talk to you a little bit about Betty's history, you'll understand that through no fault of the dog, they can be reactive to other dogs. And sometimes it's just in their nature. Like Moo will go for any dog. It's very typical of the staffie breed to just aggressively go for any dog. Once they're in a pack, they fully accept the pack. But when we introduced her, we had a large male Rottweiler and Betty and our Chihuahua. She had no issue with the Chihuahua, which I thought, well, I knew why, because the family we got her from had cats and little dogs, so she'd been raised around them. But she immediately got into a fight with Betty. Betty put her on the ground. You've got to let them do it. Because I have to figure out their place. You know, when you do introduce a dog into a pack, and more than 2 dogs, well, 2 or more dogs is a pack, and you've got to let them figure out their place in the pack. So Betty put her on the ground, and she immediately went for Tony, our big Rottweiler, and he went to the ground. So they immediately had their... Now, if they hadn't of... If they hadn't have figured that out upon meeting, we wouldn't have been able to bring her into the home, because it would have been ongoing fighting, you know. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about my dogs and the knowledge and experience I've had with dogs, but that is staffies. You got to know what you're doing. They're very loyal, great one-person dogs. I would say. I'm not an expert. I can only speak on my experience. Super sweet, extremely loyal, but also very high prey drive, so they can be extremely aggressive toward other animals. Never had it with people though. Very good dogs with people, but not with other animals. You've got to be careful what you're doing with them. So that is our Missy Moo, and she is our little sweetie, and we love her. I'll speak to you soon.